for exile. When the payback occurs, dead bodies in piles. If I smile, it's cause it's been a little while since being amongst my brothers in they garments of style. Can't forget about my sisters that be beautifully clothed, covered in their true culture. That's how rulership goes. They better give me my days off. This captivity trying to keep me a slave just gonna increase my passivity. We scream liberty when the sky cracks, specifically thinking about the Maccabees when this evil world be tempting me. We gon' keep this temple clean, and when we complicate, won't let any evil intervene.
It's another feast day, everybody celebrate.
And get on down, and get on down, and get on down. It's a feast day.
It's another feast day, everybody convocate.
And get on down, and get on down, and get on down. It's a feast day. It's a feast day, no shit dig. I'm feeling so splendid. If you out the spirit, then I am offended. Fix your face, recommended. Another work week has ended. A holy convocation, I can't wait to attend it. A fresh sight will so rise from the blind and the maddest. Rehearsing a righteous acts by being joyful with gladness. My brother hit me up, shalom, bro, what's your status? I'm headed to the feast, no matter where on the atlas. Leadership bringing fire, in the grill we gon' blaze it. My people's attire is a new fashion statement. So fresh and so fly, fringes hang to the pavement. Two-step and some slide, brothers dancing like David. No big boy, just big joy and love the way we move. Israel, we got a classic guaranteed to make you groove. Let it sizzle in your spirit from your head to your shoes. I'ma lay it on your dick for the Sabbath or new moon. It's a feast day.
It's another feast day, everybody celebrate.
And get on down, and get on down, and get on down. It's a feast day.
It's another feast day, everybody convocate.
And get on down, and get on down, and get on down. It's a feast day.
Sabbath vibes all week. It's a feast. Got my garment made, dancing like David in the mirror. Trying to congregate, body and the spirit. You can hear it from the sound we make. When we come together, we don't care what the weather say. Got kids in order, and our wives are too. Unleavened bread on point. Jesus was in that room. The frankincense on the burner. Everybody in the spirit. Praise the Lord until he hear it. We won't fuss because we fear it. Captivity calling me tomorrow, but I'm on the dance floor like it's my job. Watch me get on down like it's a syndrome. Down to the income, and if you feeling empty in the spirit, we can lend some. We do this for the vibe, but ain't no wallflowers. About to cut a rug or break a leg until the wall showers. Getting hot in here, no fear, because we all in order. That's the purpose of that fringe and that royal blue porter. Let's feast.
It's another feast day, everybody celebrate.
And get on down, and get on down, and get on down. It's a feast day.
It's another feast day, everybody convocate.
And get on down, and get on down, and get on down. It's a feast day.
What is that? Is that a bird or it's a plane? I see fire, I see flames, I see light in everything. And the scriptures match the same. UFO, they said they claim, but I know chariots swing low, and they gon' come take me away. Zoop, gone. I must agree, before I move, I face the ease. Drip on my neck, my garment of fleet. Lean to the left when I bounce on the beat. Judah eat from me, I rep for the team. Moon ready, just in time for the feast. Celebrate, I'm in love with the feast. I got heathen, that's slashing the teeth. I got brothers that's trained for the beast. Black savior, the villain of beast. Black savior, the villain of beast. Back signal, that's facing the east. See the ships, they fall to their knees.
Black signal, that's facing the east. See the ships, they fall to their knees.
Ring looping like I'm stuck in a dream. Cyclops fire, come with the beam. Phone home, no stranger thing. Then a black foot on the neck of the beast. Neck of the beast, slaughter and eat them, the vision I see. Chariots flooding the midst of the sea. Chariots flooding the midst of the sea. Go. Chariots, pick up 12 and then they dip. Black and terrible, commonly apparel, laced with the drip. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Chariots, pick up 12 and then they dip. Black and terrible, commonly apparel, laced with the drip. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship.
Look, it's a party, it's a party. Heard that he be making wine, so please don't bring me no Bacardi. This attack, I'm with an army. Keep some righteous drip upon me. I ain't talking about no thought, I'm with the body. Put an S party with some Jews. Don't park my ship, look, I just sleep and let it cruise. Give them blues, all my landers got reviews. Yeah, spaceship in the sky like that's my card, it's on the news. I get loony with the tunes, I'm controlling sound waves. You up in the sky, it ain't no bird, it ain't no plane. This a flow, now this a bop, you got a whip that got no top. I got a whip that got no steering, will it take me to the sky?
Chariots, pick up 12 and then they dip black and terrible. Commonly apparel, lace with the drip. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Chariots, pick up 12 and then they dip black and terrible. Commonly apparel, lace with the drip. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, it's a ship. Yeah, it's gonna
My people going to war. We bringing out the fire. Those heathens we ignore. Cause we know that they're liars. I'm reading in the news. We reading in the news. They reading in the
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. You are tuned into In the Scripts. Reloaded. Oh, we got to do that again. I want y'all to have a little bit more energy with that thing, man. Yeah.
Check.
Let's do that again, man. We go. I want y'all to come in hot, not warm. I want y'all to come in hot.
We ready.
You are tuned into In the Scripts.
Reloaded.
There we go, man. Some energy in that thing, man. Some energy in that thing. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to another week of In the Scripts. Last week we were not here, obviously, because we were bringing in the Feast of New Moon. It was a good time. Everybody,
Yes, sir.
yeah, everybody had a real good time, man. We enjoyed ourselves for Feast. Well, I got to be honest, though. We played, what was the game we played, bro?
Family Feud.
Oh, man, hold on, man. Look, man, let me say something to you brothers. Man, to you brothers, it's under 35. Under 35, because 35, your aunts, uncles, somebody like that was making you sit down and watch Family Feud. Look, man, there's a lot of stuff that we had to know in the quote-unquote black community in our era. Family Feud was one of them.
Yep. Right.
If you under 35 and show a propensity not to know how to function with Family Feud, bro, we got to take you back to school.
So we off the hook if we under 35 and we don't know how to
No, you're not off the hook. No. Give me Joe. Why? Give me Job 8 and 8. Give me Job 8 and 8. Give me Job 8 and 8. Hell no, you're not off the hook. Hell no, you're not off the hook.
Job chapter 8 and verse 8.
Is it 8 and 8 that I want?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their father.
Hell no, you're not off the hook. That's what we did, bro. That's how we learned language, and we learned all types of stuff because of Family Feud, bro. Yeah, now.
Hey, with that Edomite Richard Dawson.
Right, with Rick kissing on everybody with his nasty mouth.
Right, man.
Yeah, he was nasty, man.
Oh, jeez.
But look, man, we learned a lot. Family Feud, Jeopardy. Oh, man. Bro, I hated stuff that they taught us in school. But you watch Jeopardy, they brought some stuff out that you just didn't know. Of course, they didn't tell us what Ye said.
Right.
They didn't teach us what Ye said. But you learned, though. You know what I'm saying? It was a form of learning. So, but yeah. We had a good time, though. We had a good time for New Moon. All praise to the Most High. Hey, I am Officer Yakub, and to my left.
Officer Lavi.
To my left.
Officer Shema.
And to my far left.
Officer Jacob.
Welcome, Officer Jacob. Welcome, Officer Jacob. To my right.
Officer Jacob.
Now we got 3 Jacobs on the show.
Man.
3 Jacobs on it.
Let me preface that. This is LSJ.
Oh, that's what is LSJ?
Light skin J.
Oh, that's light skin J.
Most affectionately known as light skin J.
Right.
I'm holding it down for the light skin J.
And to my right.
Officer Kashar.
Officer Kashar, a resident reader. All praise to the Most High.
LSJ, you funny, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's LSJ there, man.
But on the real, y'all remember LSG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you see the haircut, don't you? Yeah, right.
Hey man, we talked about that at the barbershop earlier. I said people say that about my father. That's who he looked like. So
Oh, for real?
Hey, he looked like his father, so hey.
Yeah.
There you go.
All praise. All praise. All praise. Hey, so tonight the name of the show is To Catch a Predator, the Israeli Deception. It's To Catch a Predator, the Israeli Deception. Before we do anything, can y'all pull up for me the word predator? Let's pull up the word predator real quick and see what a predator is.
Get it up.
Let's pull up that word predator.
Man, we still missing Officer Kareem, man. I can't get there, man. We got to get the brother back in the studio.
Yeah. He handling his business.
All
Right?
praise.
Traveling prophet. Yeah, traveling prophet. So he will be back with his Lord willing soon. Lord willing, life lasts. Yeah.
Shout out to Cap. Shout out to Deke.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
That's right.
All right, so let's see what the definition of predator is. Read that for us, sir.
All right, this is predator, definition 1.
Uh-huh.
An animal that naturally preys on others.
Wait a minute. An animal that naturally, meaning it's kind of his nature to just prey on other people, huh? That's that's a predator. Go ahead.
Definition 2. A person or group that ruthlessly exploits others.
Wow. Now we touching on something. Read that one again.
It's a person or group that ruthlessly exploits others.
A person or group that ruthlessly exploits others, meaning they have no kindness in them at all for other people. They just
ruthless.
Ruthless, yeah. They ruthlessly exploit. What's the next one?
It's 2.A. A company that tries to take over another.
Okay, all right. So in them first two, when we look at that, what a predator is, it says one is an animal that naturally preys on others, and the second one is a person or a group that ruthlessly exploits others. Now, how do we tie that into tonight? Somebody tell me how we tie that into tonight. Not everybody at once.
It's crazy because looking at some of the stuff for tonight's show, I came across a movie scene. I've never seen a movie apparently, but that Amalekite, Michael, whatever the one that was in Higher Learning.
Michael
Remy.
Rappaport?
Yeah, Michael Rappaport. I had never seen the movie,
just
but
Remy. It's his name.
Yeah,
Remy.
Remy. So Remy the Amalekite, he was in a movie. Apparently, he was some Jewish exec, and Keenan Waynes or one of the Waynes brothers, and basically Amalek was listening to a pitch for a movie, and Keenan, as the person that's pitching the movie or the show, he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have black characters. They're gonna be dumb. They're not gonna be smart. They're gonna be coons. They're gonna be clowns." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like." So with this predator, though, they have that predatory characteristic about them that they will exploit and use, especially the nation of Israel, mainly as means to make money.
Right. Absolutely. What was you gonna say, Jacob?
I was gonna say it reminded me of to your point, officer, about the video on the Breakfast Club when it was a Jewish executive that said
that was that his name?
Yeah, Leah Cohen.
Yeah. The Jewish executive on the Breakfast Club, essentially, he put it out there for everybody to see.
Right.
Like, yeah, I know the music is about destroying the kids. I know I don't want my kids listening to it.
Right.
My kids can't listen to drugs and sex and rape and gang and all this.
Yeah.
But you know them Negroes in the hood? Oh, yeah, pump that. Yeah. And he just flat out said it. I do got kids to feed. I got family to feed. So they showing you that they intentionally putting messages out there to destroy our people, just like a predator would.
Absolutely.
Forget our kids, destroy our kids to feed their kids.
Right.
Wow, that's a predator spirit.
That's a predator spirit.
Right.
Hey, real quick, to tie this in, give me Ecclesiastes 3:18. Ecclesiastes 3:18. Watch this, because we're tying animals and people together, right? Why does this tie in? We're talking about catching predators. Ecclesiastes 3:18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 18.
I
said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, that they might see that themselves are beasts.
Read it right. That they may see.
And that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
So here the Bible is calling men beasts, animals. So now let's go to Isaiah real quick. Because the predator that we are exposing, the predator that we are catching today is Amalek. We've been on Amalek's neck for the last 3 shows.
Right.
And we ain't coming up off of it.
Right.
Amalekites.
Right.
Red media.
Right.
Hebrew, Israeli, Edomite, Idumeans.
Right.
We not coming off your neck. We staying on it. All right. Give me Isaiah. And let's read this on the screen. Let's read the highlighted one on the screen.
Oh, Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22.
So let's see, because now this is discussing Israel, right? This is discussing the condition of Israel. Go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
But this is a people that is robbed and spoiled, people that have been preyed upon. And this is talking about the Israelites. This is God's people. God's people are the people that have been robbed and spoiled, and they are all of them snared in holes. How are we snared in holes? Keep reading.
And they are hid in prison houses.
That's how we're snared in holes. Some of us are hid in prison houses. Why? Because of things like go ahead, speak on your mic.
The black codes.
The black codes.
Yeah, you had
war on
You had the school to prison pipeline.
Yep.
School to prison pipeline.
Strike laws.
I came up doing that crack cocaine area. That was a trap for us to get put, to get thrown in prison.
Matter of fact, what they call a house that you sold dope from?
It was a trap house.
It was called the trap house.
Right.
That's what it was called.
3 strikes you out.
3 strikes and you out.
You got redlining.
You got redlining. All of these things are snares. These are things that landed us in prison houses, right? You put out there different systems. Everybody know how people was doing with the taxes. Hey, let me carry your kid. I'm going to get so much back. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to kick you back XYZ. All types of stuff. But they would dangle these financial opportunities in your face, knowing that you as a poor person with a covetous spirit already inside of you was going to follow after these sinful natured things.
What was the last one? I got a cousin,
He got one of them stories. Hey, play that music, baby. Play that. Coming up one of them stories.
PPP loan.
Oh man.
Man. Definitely a trap.
Hey, every time I look up, new shoes, flashing money, I'm like, what is this brother doing?
Right. Yeah, definitely a trap. So finish that.
They are for a prey.
They are for a prey.
And none delivereth.
Nobody delivers. You're not seeing, as a matter of fact, what show was it that they just brought out about Al Sharpton where he was paid 3 Oh, it was on it was Deacon Athon when he did Patient Saints in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, right? Al Sharpton was paid. Hey, as a matter of fact, if y'all can't find that article so that we got proof, I don't want nobody saying that we lying. Al Sharpton was paid $3.8 million not to complain or to fight for the because of the lack of quote unquote black programming in television. He was paid $3.8 million not to raise an issue about it.
Hush money.
Hush money.
And
100%.
this one of the Negroes our people run to.
Yes.
He didn't take that money, did he? Did he take the money?
The $3.8 million?
Yeah, Al Sharpton.
What you think he did with it?
And he took that money.
Hey, you ain't heard him, have you?
Ain't heard a word from him.
Right. Yeah,
Ain't none of them stood up for Ye or Kanye.
Nah, man, ain't none of them saying nothing.
So I assume the people that paid him to not talk about the TV is the people that own the TV station.
It's the same people that own the TV station. Yes,
so now we don't have shows like The Cosby Show or Family Matters, A Different World, stuff that uplift us. BET used to be uplifting. Teen Summit. We used to have news that concerning our people, man. We was concerned about ourselves. But since our people always want to take the bag, it's where we end up now. That's how we look.
Think about it, though. How long was that, Teen Summit? How long ago was that?
That was a while ago.
What is Teen Summit? You talking to
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Give me that Job 8 and 8 again, bro. God.
You guys, a lot of brothers right now at the crib like Teen Summit.
Teen Summit.
Was that a church out?
Okay, all right.
Was that a Baptist?
Teen Summit was a show on the channel BET, which was Black Entertainment Television, which I don't think it is. Is it even still around? I don't even know.
Yeah, BET's still
nobody watched
It is still around, but Viacom, Amalek bought it and changed all of the programming.
It's all different now.
It's all different?
I can't even watch it now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so subverted, man. It's just terrible, man.
That's those predatory acts, though.
Exactly.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. Infiltrate it, take it down. Loyola, what was his name? Loyola. He was the one that started the Jesuit movement, where their whole philosophy was to come in to place people, plant seeds in your organization, and from the inside out, they would eat your organization inside out.
They called it the fifth column.
They called it the fifth column.
I went to a Catholic high school. We had to learn about the whole history of the fifth column, how they would put it in the middle. You know, you got 4 columns around a building. You put the fifth column in the middle and destroy it from the inside out. And the reason why they did that is because it takes longer to see that you're being destroyed from the inside out than it does an attack on the outside.
Right.
Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah, and we're gonna deal with that because there's somebody who spoke up last year, a year before last, who that's basically going on with, and the scripture speaks against that. It says, "Set them not by the." You know what I'm talking about? In Sirach?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Never trust in your enemy.
Definitely.
All right, but let's finish reading this. And y'all found that Al Sharpton, right? Y'all had it up? Oh, okay. I'm talking and stuff, man. My bad. Bring the article back up real quick.
That was good conversation, though.
Yeah. I like talking to my brothers, man. Yeah. All right, let's read that.
All right, this is from the New York Post. Sharpton paid to keep quiet about lack of black TV programming.
And what year was that in?
This is 2015.
All right.
What? February 23rd, 2015.
February 23rd, 2015 is when this happened. Look at the date at the top, right there on the New York Post.
November 15th, 2022.
So they're bringing it back out. These things are being exposed again, that these are the things that are happening. So guess what? We are dealing with Amalek, because Amalek is the group of people that are pushing this in our community, but you always gonna find 1 or 2 bootlickers that's willing to fall in and fall under that same Edomite spirit. They are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
Right.
And this is one of those examples. Read that.
Scroll down. It says, the Reverend Al Sharpton's silence was bought for a cool $3.8 million.
A cool.
A cold 3.8, huh?
A cool 3.8.
Read that again,
It
man.
said, the Reverend Al Sharpton's silence was bought for a cool $3.8 million.
His silence was bought for a cool $3.8 million.
Man.
Meaning all they could give you was 3.8 to sell your folks down the river?
Right.
To keep your people in dung.
Right, to keep your people in dung. I mean, think about it, man. We go on the streets and teach regularly, and small children will walk up. And what is one of the first things that we want small children to know?
Let them know the color of Christ.
We want to know. We want them
Image
to
is
know.
everything.
Image is everything.
Right.
Who did that Sprite commercial?
You taking me way back, man.
You know who did that Sprite commercial?
That might be before my time, officer.
I'm going to take a guess.
Who?
This is Charles Barkley.
Nah, this is something more modern. This is y'all's time.
LeBron.
My bad.
LeBron James did Sprite, and that slogan was image is everything.
And LeBron knew that, huh?
And he knew that.
Wow.
He knew that.
Pulled it up. I'm like,
So we taught children, or we teach children, what the image of Christ is, because if they can see the image of the Lord and Savior that they are being taught to serve, then they need to know that it looks like him, or he looks like them, so that when they see that their Lord and Savior looks like them, they'll begin to see Christ in each other.
Exactly.
And reverse the whole process of taking us away from hating each other, through iconoclasm.
Right.
You understand?
But if I may real quick, officer.
Yeah.
To your point of what you was talking about, a predator, and you couple that with image, right? It's not a coincidence that it's been intentionally, the image has been changed in the minds of our people. That's a predatory act.
Yes.
Because if all I do is put positive images of whiteness in front of black kids, and then every time they see something negative, whether it be murder, whether it be gangs, whether it be violence, they see a black image, that's a predatory act. I'm reinforcing in your subconscious that all you can do is be negative. Anytime something is good, it's me.
Yeah.
So now that's why when our people grow up and they hear us in the truth on the streets, they fight against it because it's going against that subconscious that's been programmed in their brain.
Yeah.
You think about it, Officer Jacob, JLS, right?
LSJ.
Jacob light skin.
I'm just kidding.
That's all
But
good,
on a
though.
serious note, before a child goes to bed, right? When we grew up, we prayed before we went to bed.
Right.
Just think about the image that kids grew up with. Before they go to bed, they had a white image of Jesus in their head.
Boy.
You understand?
Right.
So what we putting in the kids' mind now is that Before you go to bed, when you pray, you got a man that look like your dad, that look like your uncle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your kinfolks, your brother, your cousins.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's image goes back to image is important, very important.
And he coming to save
And with
you.
that being said, just a little bit about what I teach my kids at the house. You know what I mean? Me and my wife, we do words of affirmation with our kids. So we put the image into their mind that black is beautiful.
Right.
Because that's what King Solomon said.
Right.
We let them know that they smart, intelligent, they're prophets, princesses. You understand? You know what I mean? With my daughter, a princess, and so forth.
Right.
So with them hearing that daily, on the daily, before they go to sleep, this is what they being portrayed on the day. What you saying about the imagery? We got to put their image in their mind.
Right.
Let me build on that. Let me get Jeremiah 14:2. Watch
this.
Yep.
And to that, officer, that's what they're trying to take away from us.
Yeah,
that's
this
what
is
the
what
predators are doing.
That's what he took away for $3.8 million.
Right.
That's what he won't voice for $3.8 million.
No, officer, a cool
3.8. Right.
It's different.
It's different.
Right.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2.
Because we was talking about predatory. You opened up with that. And that was a really good analogy and a really good parallel. Because I always ask the question, hey, why does you see these guys dressed like Run DMC? You know, why do you see these guys dressed in all black with the cues and everything? And this is where they would go. Watch this. Read.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
Now, if you don't know, Judah, the word Jew comes from Judah, right? But they call themselves Jewish.
Right.
They put a spin on it. Read.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
They're not in mourning, and they have not languished, okay? You look around the communities, you look around the hoods, you see who's mourning, you see whose mama's crying and whose baby's dying, right?
Right.
We don't see that. We don't see no black on white crime, do we?
Right. Nah.
Read.
They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
Not because of the clothes they wear, but why?
Unto the ground.
Until what?
And to the ground.
And we all know the precept on that. Genesis, go back Genesis 2, 2 and 6, right? And 7. So this is right here. This is like one of their devices right here. Again, that fifth pillar. You know, they'll use little stuff like this to spin off on who they are, or to give us the impression of who they are. But you know, we the Israelites. We ain't fools.
That's right.
Give me First Maccabees 3:48 real quick.
Bring it out.
We talking about imagery. Let's see what the enemy know, and let's see what they did with our records.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
So the book of the law is this holy Bible right here. So they lay open the book of the law. Come on.
Wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
And the heathen here is talking about the so-called white man.
That's
the Jewish.
The Amalekites.
The Amalekites. So they sought to paint the what?
The likeness of their images.
So they let you know that they even know that imagery is important.
Right.
So that's why they changed the images in the Bible. Like when you see the movie The Passion of Christ. There wasn't no black man in there as Christ.
Right.
Hell, the Israelites in Passion of Christ was so-called white. The Romans was so-called white. That's not biblical.
Right.
You understand?
And Negroes up in there crying.
In there crying.
Yeah.
Then they come to camp talking about there's no difference between Jew and Greek. They talk about both them white people.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hey, that's heavy, Officer Lobby. To that point, I believe it's a brother in Oklahoma. He has a book, The Image of Christ. That's one of the favorite ones that my son, my wife and I, we read to our sons before we go to sleep, you know, because that image is important, you know. All praise.
Hey, real quick, I just got to say this. You said color don't matter, right? That's true, right? But to the Negro, when they say color don't matter, ask that Negro why he stopped wearing white after Memorial Day. What is it?
Man.
Is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? One of them? Ask them Negroes why on Valentine's Day they wear red and pink. Why on Easter they wear pink suits and blue? If color don't matter, why you do these trivial things that have no significance in life based around color? But we trying to tell you the most important piece of knowledge you can ever learn.
Right.
That the Son of God is black.
Right.
And that don't matter?
Right.
Come on. How do you say, come on now, dog?
Tell her blood that the color red don't
matter. Right. Tell her blood the color red don't matter.
Right.
Come on. See if he don't spill some red on your head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie Griffin did a stand-up a while back where he talking about how he went out to the store and somebody was like, hey, man, you ain't supposed to be wearing them colors around here, man. You know, I'm just imagining now his response like, bro, color don't matter up around here.
Right.
Mess around, get shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Color don't matter. But they decorate their house in orange and brown during the fall. I could keep going on and on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Hey,
go ahead and bring that call in. Hey, shalom, shalom, caller, shalom, shalom. What's your name? Name, comment, or topic?
Hey, shalom. This is also Shalom, IUIC Dallas.
Hey, hey, shalom, shalom.
Praises.
Hey, shalom, officer. Hey, I got a few minutes before I got to start 300. I had to call in. Can I get a scripture real quick?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And that
Let me
brother
get
there,
Proverbs
he
29,
called
verse
in, grab a
18.
script. That brother called in, grab a script.
You said Proverbs what?
29:18.
Oh, praise. The book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
Hey, you can stop right there. Scripture said, where no vision is, the people perish. So y'all been going in on imagery this whole time. Somebody made the point about Christ being the image of Christ that we've been forced to pray to our whole life was a Caucasian man, right? Think about even at Christmas, you was taught that the hard work that your mama put in to break her back to give you Christmas gifts, you gave that glory to a white man. When you see the imagery of the people that's protecting and serving in a community, so quote unquote, you saw the image of a so-called white man. Every positive image that you saw it in the Caucasian race. From the teachers you was learning from in school in most cases, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times as well. So you didn't really see us, so quote unquote black folk. You seen us on being rappers. You saw us being musicians, entertainers. There was never any imagery of us, or at least put on the forefront of us being scientists. What about the so-called black men and women who went to the moon, right? So I'm using those for example because they took all of that imagery. Because why? It's not the propaganda is to keep us at the bottom of society. The propaganda is to keep us docile. And real quick, I'm gonna wrap up. A quote that Bishop Yawasab said. He said, "Without positive imagery, we cannot progress as a people." So, and Amalek knows that. That's why they force negativity on our people. But yeah, that's all I had. Okay.
That's right. That's right. All praises to the Most High. Hey, officer, we appreciate you bringing that out, man. Hey, do your thing. I know that class is powerful, man. A lot of people are very happy that the program 300 is available to them, man. Right. Taking boys from men. So all praises to the Most High, officer. We appreciate you calling in.
Amen. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless.
So to that point though, how they know to push these images and like what our brothers rap about, what our sisters rap about, that stripper rap.
Talk directly
and the stripper rap and so forth. You know, this mic.
Yeah.
But let me get a scripture on that real quick, and then we can move on from there. Let me get what I wanted. 1 Timothy. Yeah, let's get 1 Timothy 6 and verse 10, and then we're gonna jump to verse 9.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 10.
Read.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
You see that? It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. So money itself isn't evil. It's the love of it, meaning what you covet after that thing. You would do anything for it. That's the root of it being evil. Come on.
Which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith.
You see that? It said, while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith. Read.
And pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Like to the point where you can't even stand up for your people, and you sitting back watching the sorrow happen to your people. You push negative imagery on your people because you covet after that money.
Right.
And you get killed yourself. You watch your people get killed. So you now erring from the faith.
Right.
Read verse 9.
Verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptations and a snare.
And a what?
And a snare.
You see that thing? So they that be rich, you fall into a snare because you coveted after that money.
Right.
And the heathen know that.
Right.
So they know, okay, shoot, I'm about to pray up on the poor. And being that they covet after that money, they gonna do whatever it is to get that money.
Officer, or they gonna give you a cool 3.8 mil and be like,
right.
I
Don't
know
say
the trap
nothing.
to get this Negro.
Right.
Cool 3.8.
Right.
A gift. Come on.
And into many foolish and hurtful lusts.
To where now you bent over. Now you bent over.
Right.
Read on.
Which drown men in destruction and perdition.
And that's where we at. We drowning as a people.
That's right. That's right. Hey, so let's go back. I want to go back to the Isaiah where we at 42. Read that again.
The book of
22.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22.
Uh-huh.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
They are all of them snared in holes,
Mhm.
and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver it.
So we looked at everything that was coming out there and was showing how none of the leaders, they have no pity for their people. They will go after that dollar because of that covetous spirit in them, and they have no care for what happens to the rest of the community, even though they stand with a fist up like they,
Right.
we blackity black, y'all. Yeah, like that's fake as hell. Go ahead.
For a spoil,
Uh-huh.
and none saith restore.
And none saith restore. Now, let me show you something, because, again, image is everything, right? And we grinding this out real quick. Pull up, if y'all will, type in Paul, Apostle of Christ, actors. Paul, Apostle of Christ, actors. I want you to search that real quick. Because according to the Bible, we know what Paul looks like, right? But let's pull up the cast of a movie called Paul, Apostle of Christ.
If this is another looking Caesar Bowl,
Man, look.
if this is another Caesar Bowl looking like, it's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy.
this movie, it came out about 4 years ago, I guess it was. About 4 years, yeah, about 4 years ago. Paul, Apostle of Christ. This is the cast of Paul, Apostle of Christ. So if y'all will, size that to where we can see all of whoever the cast members are.
Scroll down a little bit so we can see the cast.
Yeah, we can't see the whole thing, y'all, so we need it downsized to something. Yeah, so it fit in the screen.
All right, we've got that Jim
Yep.
Caviezel.
Uh-huh.
That's St. Luke, or supposed to be St. Luke.
Yeah, and oh, he played Luke, okay.
Oh, God.
Let's hit the show more. Let's hit that, y'all. Come on, open it up.
We've got James Faulkner.
Uh-huh.
Paul.
He played Paul.
Yeah.
This is the image that they give you of Paul.
The hell is this?
That's supposed to be Paul the Apostle.
The Egyptian.
This is how they prey on our people.
Right.
It's through the witchcraft of their media.
Right.
Right? This is how they prey on our people. Wow. So the entire cast, let's scroll up or down. Y'all know we just want to see what's below what. Look at all of the cast of this movie.
Wow.
And I can guarantee you, when because they have to
He said, "Is it one brother down there?
whenever
Is that
they
a brother?"
reherse.
They
They
got
got
to
to practice for
character.
those. They got to rehearse for these roles.
Yes, they have to rehearse for these
for
roles.
these roles. That ain't open to black people.
Right.
That's not open to the black actors like your Denzel Washingtons and them.
Right.
That ain't open to them.
Right.
What happens
How you know
when?
that's true? Look at the last brother right here.
Yeah, right.
He ain't got a
We ain't even got no title.
He ain't even got a full picture. Look, he ain't even got a close up. Bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah, ain't.
They got him in the
Add more
garden.
light.
in the woods.
Add more light.
He extra.
He said, "Put more light, more light, more light."
Right. Okay, so this is the movie.
Wow.
This is who they tell you that the disciples of Christ were, and that who Paul was.
Right.
Right. So let's go back to the top. Now just type in Paul, Apostle of Christ, producers. So just change that last word, actors, to producers. Let's see who produced the movie.
Hey, real quick, while we looking at, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I had made a point. I said supposedly the Egyptian, right? Because remember in Acts 21, can we
Right.
get that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
In Acts 21, the scriptures say that Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian.
Right.
So what's up? What was the dude's name again? The guy who played Paul.
Probably Finkelstein or something.
Right. Yeah, that's called
Idumea.
Right, Esau Idumea. That's it, right there.
Whoever in his life ever mistook him for African. Let's not forget that Egypt is in Africa.
Right.
Nobody. Somebody read that for me, that Acts 21 real quick.
The book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 37. And as Paul was to be led unto the castle, he said unto the chief captain, "May I speak unto thee?"
May I speak unto thee? Read.
Who said, "Canst thou speak Greek?"
Even that statement right there shows that Paul was black.
Right.
Because they looking at him like, nigga, can you speak Greek?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you see a Negro speaking some eloquence that you not expect, they take him back. Can this nigga speak Greek? What's going on? Read on.
Art not thou that Egyptian?
Art not thou the what?
That Egyptian?
Brothers and sisters, Egypt is in Africa.
That's right.
And the people that are in the land of Egypt today are not the original Egyptians. That's a whole nother history about the Arab conquest and all that. But Egypt is in Africa. The Bible says that Paul was mistaken for an African.
Right.
Esau, Idumea, Edom that played Paul. Ain't nobody never called him an African.
Right.
So that just
Nobody.
show you the deception right in your face. But our people, they're not putting the links together.
Right.
And you know, when you see one European, you can't tell what European nation they're from.
Right.
You might be German,
Right,
Irish,
right.
French. You mistaken for that, right?
Read verse 39, so we know what Paul came from.
Verse 39.
Uh-huh.
But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus.
He was a who?
A Jew of Tarsus.
Jews are black.
That's right.
That's right.
They're
That's
not
right.
white. They're not white people.
Right. And guess what, officer? That's not hate speech.
Right.
That's right.
True. We telling the truth.
That's
We read the
right.
Bible. We read scripts.
Right.
Truth is now hate speech. No, so.
Now, this is who produced the film. These are the producers of the film, right? Terrence, what does it say? Terrence
Burden and David Zalan.
David Zalan, right?
Show daddy name.
Yeah.
Your daddy chose that name.
So we know where that name Zalan comes from. That's an Amalekite theft, right?
Right.
But what I want to focus on is who was it that put the movie out? The people that put the movie out was Columbia Pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's type in founder of Columbia Pictures. Let's see who founded Columbia Pictures. We're showing y'all how they are doing what they're doing. What's his name?
Columbia Pictures founders. Harry Cohen.
Henry Cohen.
Jack Cohen.
Uh-huh.
And Joe Brandt.
All Amalekites. So when we see the imagery that's going out, our people being spoiled, these are the people that have been in control of everything that we've seen, learned, and listened to for hundreds of years. This is the deception that we're exposing. These are the predators. Why? Because they took this movie. Let's see if it'll even tell us. How much did this movie gross, or how much did this movie make? Let's look and see.
Paul the Apostle.
Yeah, Paul the Apostle earnings.
So while we looking that up, for those watching, if you haven't already, go to Matthew213.com, and on there you can donate to Joseph Dream, and the real imagery out of the Bible is being, and we have a movie for that. So
That's
go and
right.
watch that.
That's right. And
So look at
future endeavors as well.
Yeah,
We're
for
working
future
on-
endeavors
working
as
on
well.
future films.
Absolutely.
So Paul the Apostle, the movie earnings, 23 million box office. Paul Apostle of Christ grossed 17.6 million in the United States and Canada and 5.4 in other territories for a worldwide total of 23 million against a production budget of 5 million.
They used
18
$5
plus.
million to turn it into $23 million and profited off of the black history of our people.
What the hell is this?
This is catching a predator.
Yo, and this is crazy because Paul is a man that lived. He's our forefather, Benjamin, tribe of Benjamin. We read about him.
Hey, talk. For some reason, your mic don't sound like it's on.
They just got it low.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
okay.
but Paul, real man that lived, tribe of Benjamin, Israelite, $23 million they done made off of changing his image and selling it to our people and the rest of the heathen.
Right.
But then you turn around and you see the heathens are in a rage because they didn't make a fictional fish character. What is it? What is it?
Mermaid.
Mermaid.
Yeah, mermaid. They done made a what is it called?
Ariel, Little Mermaid.
Ariel, Little
Right.
Mermaid into a black character.
Right.
But that's it. They're at such a rage because they understand those shows, Disney, really be having the eyes of these young children.
Right.
Today we actually did Jeopardy, going over stuff in U.S. history. I said, all right, let's go over to U.S. history. Boom, boom, boom. They like, this is boring. Whatever the case is. I said, all right, we're gonna get through with this one. We're gonna do a Disney one. Man, Disney, they knew every answer like they just watched it last night.
Right.
And Amalek, the predator, understands that he can use that as a form to trap and snare our people by pushing that imagery out.
Right.
Let's do a white mermaid. Let's do a white princess. Let's do a so-called white. Let's do a red this. Let's do whatever the case is, but never black.
Right. So these are the things that we're finding that they're using, and these are their predatory practices that we're finding. Now, let me see. There is another one, And this is where you see the contradiction, and this is how you know how foolish our people are. I can't even find it. You know what? We're going to move forward. But there is a movie that came out about John the Apostle. And in that one, they had John was black. He was dark skinned.
Oh, wow.
Woolly hair and the whole, but everybody around him and all the apostles. He was the only black in there.
Right.
So
probably why we ain't never heard of it.
Right. So let's take this down. Let's go to the next article, y'all. Let's move.
Wow.
Let's
you
move
to find
forward.
that one because I ain't never heard of that one.
Yeah.
How much money Black Adam grossed?
Oh man, come on. Right. Black Adam is cold.
It's cold.
Yeah. We saw that together. Yeah, that's cold. All right, let's take.
23 million?
Oh yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
Probably broke 23
But
million open day.
who's earning off of that though?
Yeah.
Amalek is earning off of that. To catch a damn predator is what we doing. All right, now let me show you how crafty we get. So this is the big three, right? Read that.
Says Big Three certified as a black-owned business.
So the big three, which is Ice Cube's league, O'Shea Jackson, right? It's certified, or it's now certified as a black-owned business. So a lot of people are looking at it. Even athletes are looking at it, right? You got other athletes that have come out of the league. These are some top-tier athletes. They're no longer playing in the league, but still very capable of playing the game. And they've decided to go over to the Big Three league, and they sign on in the whole 9 yards, right? He's signing people up, paying them, everything, and they're falling in there because their thought is that this is a black-owned league. Right? Let's go to the next.
That's wild. That's wild because people online, due to the Kyrie stuff, have been saying, Kyrie, you should just leave it, man, and just go to Big Three.
Just go to Big Three.
Right.
Watch this. Blow that up and let's read it.
Leadership, it says, on January 11, 2017.
Now, pause real quick because this is from their website. So this is, if you go to the website, you click on leadership. This is who the leadership of the Big Three league is, right? Go ahead.
On January 11, 2017, producer, actor, and musical legend Ice Cube, along with entertainment executive Jeff Quatinetz.
Who?
Quatinetz.
Jeff Quatinetz. Go ahead.
Officially announced the launch of the Big Three, a new 3-on-3 half-court basketball league that will feature some of the best players to ever play the game.
So they going after the top Judites. Right? Judites, Issacharites,
Gadites.
Yeah, bring it out.
Praise God.
Right. Benjamites, right? They going after the top players that ever played in the league, right? Go ahead.
Cuban Quatinetz had a shared vision of a player-centric league.
Raise it up.
Focused on entertainment and innovation. Among those innovations, they introduced the 4-point shots with 3 4-point circles beyond the 3-point line.
All right. So now, this is the leadership. Ice Cube, Jeff Quatinetz, black-owned business, right?
Right.
Give me the next.
Jeff Quatinetz.
Wait a minute.
What the hell is this?
Wait a minute.
Somebody come look at this.
Jeff Quatinetz.
Must be albino.
Right. Jeff Quatinetz is not black.
He got a Jew fro.
Guess what else he got? Jew blood.
It's a red skin.
Jewish
blood.
Jewish. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jewish blood
Right.
is what Quatinetz has. So why do you think Ice Cube can't speak out no more?
This is why he wanted.
He gonna
wanted
cut
this
the money
Big
to
Three.
that league.
Hey, his partner said, "Hey, look at that line right there.
Right.
And say I got a little bit more than you got, so you need to shut up."
Right.
He went on Twitter right then and there. Hey man, I don't know why y'all keep messing with me, man. Leave me alone. I'm not with this anti-Semitic stuff.
Right.
Get that Ecclesiastes 7 and 7
Man.
real quick.
Bring that up. So what you're seeing is that even the guys who are supposed to be the revolutionary, stand up, F the police, black people need to join together. Even he is partnered with the enemy that he says that he's fighting against. Where's all of that stuff, Q, that you said to Easy about Jerry Heller? Where's all of that stuff that you was talking about, the Jewish lawyer and letting them bend you over and so forth and so on? And here you are partnered with the likes of Amalek.
Did it again.
Did it again. He in business with him.
Let a Jew break up our crew.
Man. Go ahead, get that.
Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
You see that thing? The Bible says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So if you're not mad at the oppression of your people, what's the opposite of wise? A foolish man.
Foolish.
Right.
And this is what our people have turned into.
Right.
They have turned into foolish people, foolish men and women. Why? Read the next part.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
That's why you become foolish, because you accept gifts and it destroys you from speaking up and standing up for your people. You will, hey, don't say my name, I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Man.
But just a few months ago,
Right.
you was in the same seat.
Right.
Right.
It was all
Sharing
good
our,
just a week
look,
ago.
sharing our video.
Right.
You understand?
You know something else? This is the perfect scripture. Read this one more time. Read that one more time.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Wise man what?
Mad.
Niggas with attitudes.
Dang.
He had attitude.
Right.
Man.
You got no attitude.
Right.
Man.
And what happened? And what keep reading? What
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
Man, I hate that you put my name in that mess.
Dang.
Kanye.
Damn.
He's the
Destroyed him,
personification of that verse.
Dang.
Man,
Exactly.
that's heavy.
And give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43.
Bring it up.
Because this part of the curses as well. Because we can't move without them. Ice Cube trying to make some moves. But Ye was trying to make some moves, but they can't move without the Edomites.
Right.
Right.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee
Amalek.
shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
That's where we at now. Read.
He shall lend to thee,
So you got to go to them for everything. Read.
and thou shalt not lend to him.
Because they don't need you.
In fact, take your money back.
Right. In fact, take your money back. We need them to make this 3-on-3 happen.
Right.
The big three.
Facts.
They can't do it without the Amalekites. They
Right.
can't do it without the Jewish people. They run everything.
Right.
One more scripture. Give me Job 9 and
Oh,
24.
before you move on,
Okay.
hey, jump down to 48.
You want me to get
please.
48?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
And that's what we've been doing since we got over here. We're serving our enemies. Read.
which the Lord shall send against thee,
Because we broke his laws. Read.
in hunger, and in thirst,
Uh-huh.
and in nakedness,
Uh-huh.
and in want of all things.
So if you want a big 3 team, you got to go to your enemy.
NAACP, HBCU.
Talk straight in your mic.
NAACP,
Uh-huh.
HBCU. All of these things started by the white man. But guess what? They posturing them off as black owned or you got ownership in it. No, sir.
right.
Adidas, what LL Cool J, was he want to say
Adidas.
Ma
Ron
Adidas?
DMC.
Run DMC.
Stay in your
That was
lane.
DMC.
Hey,
Stay in your lane.
man. Stay in your
Right.
lane.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's finish that scripture out, man. Do what you do best.
Hey, she's happy her.
Right.
That ain't black people's. You understand?
Right,
You gotta go to the enemy to get that.
Right.
You understand? Fiesta,
Right.
Rancho. Those ain't the Northern Kingdom with the so-called Hispanic stores
At all.
They make it look like it's yours. They got your people in there working. They get the little decorations, but that ain't your. You don't own
It
it.
ain't yours.
Exploitation at its finest.
Right.
Exploitation.
Right.
That's predatory.
Finish that off for me, Ops.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So these curses right here, if anybody don't believe this Bible, just Google yokes of iron and hit images and see who pops up.
Right.
That's
My
right.
uncle, my auntie, my family, the Israelites who was brought over here on slave ships.
Right.
That's right. That's
Is that
right.
it? That's it.
until he have destroyed thee.
And that's where we at now. That's why
Yes,
we're
sir.
trying to restore our people. Go ahead, Ops.
Hey, real quick too, while we in the midst of it, I want everybody watching, share the link
That's right.
to the In the Scripts Reloaded YouTube channel and the IUIC Dallas channel. Share those links on your social media. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word.
That's right.
Spread the word, y'all. Let's get it out there.
Hit
Let's
the
get it
like
out
button and good comments.
Smash up the likes.
there. Yeah. Hit the likes. Hey, real quick, let's go out of this because we want to dig further into this predatory act, right? Even our people, again, are indulging in it. Go to the link that I just placed at the bottom of the group, at the bottom of that channel. Let's see what this is about. Let's read through this.
This is Yahoo News. It says, Ice Cube's alleged anti-Asian, anti-Semitic past resurfaces after news of NFL partnership.
Wait, after news of what?
NFL partnership.
Because Ice Cube was working on a partnership with the NFL, suddenly they began to bring to remembrance. Remember, you said some anti-Asian, and some anti-Semitic stuff. Look, boy, we giving you a shot to get this money that you said that you wanted when you was a teenager. We giving you a shot. We're not going to slide you a cool 3.8. we're going to give you a deal with the NFL.
Right.
And you better act right, boy.
Right.
And what did he do? He took the deal.
Right.
Let's read through this.
Also, real quick. Can I
Yeah.
say, it's based off something we talked about earlier. Real quick. I don't want to take you off. Scroll it back up real quick. What you notice right there, it said anti-Asian and anti-Semitic.
Right.
Remember, we was talking about the self-determination and who you can call what and who matches what.
Right.
What are the 3 most popular countries in Asia? Japan, China, and India. Are they not all Semitic?
Right.
So why are they
Awesome.
separating anti-Asian, anti-Semitic?
Good
Moab,
catch.
Got you.
Ammon,
Good catch.
and Elam are all Semitic.
All Semitic.
That's further proof of that predatory language that we was
Right.
talking about. They separate. Now put these over here, and we gonna be the only Semites.
Right.
So that means we're gonna have to bring that chart up so everybody can see.
Oh, we're
who's
going
all
to bring it
Semitic.
up. That's for sure. We're going to bring it up and discuss it heavily. Yes, sir. Let's read through this.
Scroll down. It says, critics have called attention to Ice Cube's alleged anti-Asian and anti-Semitic past following the NFL's announcement of its partnership with the rapper's contract with Black America, CWBA Institute.
So he has a thing called the Contract with Black America Institute. Contract with Black America? Who else did you talk to, Q? And if there's a contract with Black America, then that means Black Americans ought to know what's going on in the deals that you are bartering on our behalf.
And profiting from it.
Right.
However, I've seen nothing in the mailbox and the email
Bring it
addresses or nothing saying, hey, bro, you know what? I'm putting a deal together for all of us, man. It's going to profit you X, Y, Z, and I'm going to just make this thing happen, and we going to be all right. So how do you call this a contract with Black America? Why? Because he's doing the same thing Al Sharpton did, selling Black America for money.
Wow.
And he said that in that contract, what he's really going into is he's saying we don't get anything for our vote, so we want to make sure that we're getting something for our vote. He says for the Democrats have never really cashed in on, or the blacks never cashed in on anything the Democrats have ever did for
Right.
So he's trying to make sure that he holds the GOP and all the other people over the coals to get some money. It's really a money grab, ain't it?
It's a money grab. It's 100% money. Hell yeah, it's a money grab.
Right.
Hey, let's read through it.
The NFL, which has been aiming to boost its work with Black-owned businesses, announced a partnership. All right.
They've been aiming to boost their work. Hey, look, we want to work with some of you Negroes. We need y'all to tell us what it is that you're doing so we can figure out exactly how we can profit off of it and give you the least profit margin.
Yeah.
But we're going to give you something, though. We'll give you a cool $3.8 million.
Right.
But you got to shut up, though.
Yeah.
You got to shut up.
He said, matter of fact, I got a cousin. You're going to work with him.
Right. Yeah, I got a cousin. You're going to work with him.
The hell is this?
The NFL, which has been aiming to boost its work with Black-owned businesses, announced the partnership on June 30th. The collaboration is set to focus on identifying league-wide opportunities in the financial, tech, and production sectors with a concentration on increasing spending to Black business nationwide to help close America's racial and economic wealth gap.
Okay. Somebody explain to me how them spending a few dollars. Now, don't get it twisted, man. If you need your hair cut, I'll be glad to hook you up, right?
Right.
But the few dollars that you spend with me is not about to make my entire community wealthy. How are you planning on closing a wealth gap simply by spending a few dollars in a few places, when in reality, every dollar that you spending with the people that you're saying you're trying to close the gap with, you stole from those people, and every resource that you have, you stole from those people in order to get your riches.
Right. Not only that, officer, every dollar that they spend in the Black community goes back to them in 6 hours.
Goes back to them in 6 hours.
Remember that stat that came out
Yes,
Bishop brought that a few years
absolutely.
ago? The Black dollar circulates within the community for only 6 hours.
Only 6 hours.
So really, this
The hell
ain't
is
them
this?
trying to do nothing good for Black people. This is just an investment. You spend a little bit of money to gain a little bit of money. That's all it is.
To create more Black voters.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
To vote for them in power.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, it's to pacify them also, so they won't think about owning their own NFL team.
Right.
So we'll give y'all this right here. Y'all stay at the bottom. We'll continue to be above y'all. That's all it is, man. They never want us to surpass them.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, let's jump down. Let's go to Let's go down to where it says we feel like. We're going to see what Ice Cube said
There it is.
about it. Yep.
We feel like if you tackle the huge wealth gap between black people and white people in this country, that should solve a lot of problems that's there.
So he thinks that solving the problems between blacks and whites is about how much money they have as opposed to how much money we have.
So do he not know the history about Tulsa, Oklahoma? And,
Bruh, he said F the
Greenwood?
police.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he know. Yeah, he know.
Did they not bomb us? Did they not use the military to bomb
Exactly
our
right,
people?
officer.
Right.
We was wealthy then.
Exactly. So our issue is not money.
It ain't.
Our issue is a mindset.
Right.
That's our issue.
Right.
We have to come back to knowing who we are, that we are the Israelites. Right. We must keep God's laws.
Right.
That's our issue. Then we don't need y'all money. We got the Most High with us.
That's
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Give me that. Give me Hosea 5 and 15. Hosea 5 and 15, real quick. Because that's our issue. We got to start learning how to offend God less. Because that's the reason why he turned his back on us. Read what you got.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place.
The Most High left us because we was hard-headed. We went into idolatry. Same thing y'all gonna do when Thanksgiving comes, the same thing why the Most High left us. Same thing y'all gonna do when Christmas comes, the same thing that why the Most High left us. Read.
Till they acknowledge their offense.
Now you got to acknowledge that's why the Most High left us, because we was hard-headed. We went into idolatry. We breaking his commandments. We offending God.
Right.
Read.
And seek my face. In their affliction.
Now we getting afflicted, ain't we, Kyrie? Ain't we, yay?
Right.
Ain't we getting afflicted, y'all?
Right.
Read.
They will seek me early.
Now y'all want to seek Yah.
Right.
Hebrews to Negroes.
Right.
Come on now. Even though you know this now, you still got to keep God's commandments. It's like a whole lot of people know they're Israelites. Because when I went back to work, everybody wanted to talk to me about that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you an Israelite. That's true what he's saying. But you still got to keep the commandments.
That's right.
You know what's crazy, because you brought up Kyrie. You know, we saw how skillfully he was, working those interviews and so on and so forth, because they was trying to get him to just say you're sorry, say you apologize, this and that. The flip side of that, just thinking about the scripture, that's how our people are on the wicked side of it, to acknowledging their offenses to the Most High God.
Right.
That's how our people wise to do evil. So we like, bro, you sin. It ain't a sin to wear my pants. What you mean? This for the kids. Like they are skilled in wickedness, and Esau teaches them to be so. In the Christian church, we ain't forgot about y'all either. Damn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All praise.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get a verse real quick?
Hey, I'm going to get one verse. Hold that.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get one verse to close this out, and then we're going to go to commercial. When we come back, then we'll deal with what you got. Cool?
Yes,
Give me
sir.
Isaiah chapter 60 and verse number 9. Because this is the reason that right now is not the time to be thinking in the way that Ice Cube is thinking. That time is coming, but right now it is not.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them.
So the time is coming when all of the nations are going to bring us their silver and their gold, and they're going to bring our people back to us when we go back into our land and rule this earth. Ain't nothing they can do to stop it. That's right. So we're going to go to commercial break. We're going to take a few minutes. We'll be right back. You are tuned into In the Scripts.
Reloaded. In the Scripts. Reloaded.
With the Feast of Tabernacles just weeks away, IUIC is now presenting Feast of Tabernacles Boom Card Decks. The perfect tool to teach your little prophets and princesses all about the Feast of Tabernacles. These Tabernacles Boom Card Decks are available in both English and Spanish. Grab yours today by visiting www.boomlearning.com/author/IUIC. With the Feast of Tabernacles just weeks away, IUIC is now presenting Feast of Tabernacles Boom Card Decks. The perfect tool to teach your little prophets and princesses all about the Feast of Tabernacles. These Tabernacles Boom Card Decks are available in both English and Spanish. Grab yours today by visiting www.boomlearning.com/author/IUIC. With the Feast of Tabernacles just weeks away, IUIC is now presenting Feast of Tabernacles Boom Card Decks. The perfect tool to teach your little prophets and princesses all about the Feast of Tabernacles. These Tabernacles Boom Card Decks are available in both English and Spanish. Grab yours today by visiting www.boomlearning.com/author/IUIC.
Hey, shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel, Vision United in Christ, or praises to the Most High. We're going to discuss pagan Christianity.
Is the Christianity today the same as the Christianity that was taught by the disciples in Christ? And the answer is no.
So, concerning the forcible conversion of all people to the white man's religion, Christianity. Now, when you read the scriptures, the original Christians were the Israelites that followed Christ. But over a period of time, it has morphed into a religion, a cult, a terrorist group, in which we as a people were terrorized and forcibly converted into what we call today modern-day Christianity.
Because Christ being the Son of God is simple to understand. Christ being there from the beginning is simple to understand. Christ being a black man, the black Messiah from the tribe of Judah, who only died for his people, and his people only, is as simple as simple.
They're all black. Every last one of them, black.
We had a religion. Our religion is the Bible.
Pagan Christianity had nothing to do with peace during the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s. It was about war, decimation, bloodshed.
The problem with Christianity, the problem with Islam, the problem with other religions is that restraint does not belong to us.
There is black presence in the Bible, but the Bible is the book of the Israelites, and it just so happens that the Israelites are black people. They'll say Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. That's correct. They'll say Moses passed for second to Pharaoh in Egypt, which is in Africa on a black continent. That's correct. However, they're leaving one person out, Jesus the Christ.
Chariots, pick up 12 and then they dip, black and terrible. Commonly apparel, laced with the drip. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Chariots, pick up 12 and then they dip, black and terrible. Commonly apparel, laced with the drip. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship. Yeah, it's gonna be a party on the ship.
Pick up 12 and then they dip.
Southwest.
They hate what I do, they hate what I speak. They hate that I'm milling, they hate that I meet. They hate how I slide when I march to the streets. They stand for my brothers who die in the streets. I move like a king, my blood like supreme. Smoking that wood with the fire I breathe. The spirit of God while you hating on me. I move like a gospel, they hating on me. There's no sweat, no sweat. No sweat, no sweat. Hold up. I move like a king, I'm royal supreme. I'm shutting it down when we step on the scene. I move like a king, I'm royal supreme. I'm shutting it down when we step on the scene. See, they hate what I do and hate what I speak. Shaking the hand and crying aloud while they read. Head up with flint, I never budge when I preach. We be on the corner trying to take over the seas, and I never been sweet, so no quarter to my speech. I'm just giving you the word that was given to me. Salvation is closer and teachers you see. To hunters go forth in his flesh and the feet. All your lies and your threats to the famous. Just the hand gets to 12, that's dangerous. To the end, we're rebuking the lies. We love the hate you give, more reason to shine. How they keep going, they wondering why. Patient saints, we the image of God. Coming up, but this here on the rise.
You're listening to In the Scripts Reloaded.
We are back
We're
for the
back.
second half of the show. For the
That's
second
right.
half. Hey, look, we appreciate, as always, y'all joining in. Y'all could have been doing anything else.
Right.
But instead, y'all are here with the prophets, bringing it out of In the Scripts
Reloaded.
That's right. That's right. So we're touching on the topic of to catch a predator, the Israeli deception. And y'all know we got to emphasize that word Israeli, right? We're careful to try to use the words Jewish. You know, sometimes we still slip and say Jew because it's so common. But like leadership say, man, at this point, we ought to be calling them
nominals
and Israeli.
Israelis.
Yeah, Israeli. Hey, can y'all find that definition for Israeli? Can y'all find that beautiful definition of Israeli? Let's see why we should call them Israeli.
Because he had misspoke. He said, we Jew too. Right. No, you misspoke, bro.
Right.
We're the Jews.
That's right.
Benjamin, Levi, and Judah.
I'm saying we ain't sharing it with nobody.
No, we ain't standing with nobody. They ain't.
I would love him to correct that.
Yeah, right. They converts.
Is this the one that gives? Is it the Miriam? Yeah, let's look at the Miriam definition. Yeah, raise it up. Let's look and see. Let's raise it up and look and see. Hold on. Come on, y'all, raise it up so we can see the rest of the definition, man. Okay. Nah, that ain't the one. Do y'all know? Have y'all been watching what's going on for the last?
Remember when Ye was like,
with this
George
definition?
Bush
Come on, y'all.
don't like white people?
Right.
You gonna send?
Did he seem nervous?
Send it.
when
Just
he
send
was
it to the
saying that?
group. Send it to the group, man.
Well, yeah, right before he
Send it to
said
the
it,
group.
that look he had in his eye.
Yeah. Look,
You send it
because he got
right.
the heart. He be wanting to do well, man. But I
Hey,
think he should have
I'm
some
sending
people
it to y'all now,
that can speak for him, especially on this Israelite stuff.
Yeah,
he should
right.
call some of our
There,
leadership.
I just send it to the group.
And have
Pull that one
have,
that's in the
have,
group,
have
please.
one of our bishops or deacons or something as his, like a lawyer, like his counselor.
Yeah,
so when he go in front of Jewish people,
his Israelite representative.
Yeah.
He got to let go of the pride, man. You let go of the pride, all that's possible, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. So let's pull that up. What y'all were just sent.
All right, this is Israeli.
Our audience is a little bit loud. Can y'all hear that? I don't know why our audience over there acting like they ain't an audience.
The hell is this?
Right. Got a whole show going on. What the hell is this, man?
Applaud, you know?
Right.
Hey, he talking like his mama ain't over there. As soon as the show
Right. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say like Christ said, woman.
Say, who is my mother?
All right, hey, let's read that. Let's read that.
Israeli, citizen of the state of Israel.
A citizen of the state of Israel. So this is just a citizen, right? That's just a citizen. So it's just like if we right now from America moved over there and changed our nationality, right, as far as citizenship to Israel right now, we would just be citizens of the state of Israel. By blood, we'd be the true. Right. But they'd call us a citizen, right? So we could be called an Israeli with the citizenship. Go ahead.
It distinguishes the citizens of the modern states from the ancient people who had been known in English.
Wow. Where's the bomb?
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
so bold. Bro, he back there talking. I'm looking at him. He back there talking.
I did it.
Chatty Patty, bro, cut it out.
Let me
Pay
finish,
attention to the show.
I'm gonna say, y'all. Let me finish that. It said it distinguishes the citizens of the modern state from the ancient people
who had been known in English since 14th century as Israelites.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's dope.
So it is distinguished between the Israelites and these new people who went into the land in 1947 after the Balfour Declaration was pushed forward.
So this is the flip. So you got Israeli, but their true nationality, they're Edomites.
Right.
Esau.
Right.
And then when you read in the Bible, you have Paul, is Roman citizen, but he's an Israelite. So you're seeing the two flips.
Right.
You got to be able to distinguish between you're just a citizen of the state. Like they call us Americans. We get a passport, we're going to have an American passport.
Right.
U.S. citizen passport. But we're not Americans. We know that. We are Israelites.
But we actually denizens over here. But I wonder, the people who went over there in 1970, the brothers that went over there, migrated, what are they called?
Slaves.
Damn.
I wonder if they get that same citizenship as the question.
Minorities.
No, I can answer that.
Untouchables.
We ran into a sister at the Arambe Festival a couple of Sabbaths ago, and she walked over to us. You wouldn't have known that she was Israel, though. She had on pants, just everything. Nothing about her said Israelite. And so she saw us and walked up, and of course she hit us with the "Shalom, brothers." We like, "Shalom, sis." You're gonna be friendly, And so she got to telling us that she was of the children or of the group of people that went over there into Dimona, that she was a child born into that land by one of the couples who actually, left here and went to Dimona.
Right.
So she was raised under it.
Right.
But she had on pants and was doing nothing that looked like an Israelite. But when I asked her questions, she said that they were Israeli. I said, "Wow, sis." I said, so you Israel, right? She said, "Yeah." I said, "So how could you call yourself Israeli?" She's like, "Well, that's the citizenship we had, and that's what I was raised as, so I'm an Israeli. I even speak the language." And she went into the house spitting on it.
Started beatboxing.
You know how they talk with that ugly Yiddish, bro? But she called herself an Israeli and told me how she served in the military for the years that she had to and all the stuff that they had to do.
Right.
And I said, "Man, after all of that, y'all still got kicked out?"
You know something? I heard an interesting fact about them brothers. I met a brother from, he's part of the Atlanta camp. He used to be a part of that faction, right? They went over there. He said that they used to believe in multiple wives.
Right.
Until one of the brothers went and started marrying the white Israelis over there. Now they don't believe in multiple wives. Now one is good enough.
Right.
Once you get a white woman over there, you're good enough.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right. Hey, you had something before we went to break that you was going to bring out,
Yes,
right?
sir. I was going to touch on that topic with Ice Cube, but we go to Ezekiel 35. Because you had made the point, the article had made the point about the partnership, right?
Right.
He was trying to come together and, partnership and with the NFL, how they could do things for us and, help diminish the wage gap and how it would solve problems with the blacks and whites, right?
Right.
Let's see if it's possible to solve problems with the blacks and whites. Ezekiel 35, start at verse 3. We're going to read down.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 3. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir.
So Mount Seir, for those that don't know, that is the land of the Edomites. When you look in the Bible, that's where the Edomites came from, the primary land that they started at. So now whenever you see Mount Seir in the Bible, it's referring to the Edomites, who, by the way, is your friendly neighborhood white man.
That's
all right. Read on.
I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee.
Read.
And I will make thee most desolate.
This is a prophecy. So I know it hurts the minds of our people. We got Samantha. She's a good friend of mine, right? We got Charles. He's my manager at work. He pays me good. Charles and Samantha is going to be destroyed, thus saith the Lord.
That's right.
Read on.
I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Here's the point that I wanted, though. Verse 5, because he talked about the partnership and the wage gap and how we can solve these problems. Watch this, read.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
A what?
A perpetual hatred.
And did what?
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
The Bible says that Esau had a perpetual hatred. When you look into that word perpetual, that goes into forever, ongoing. So no wage gap discrimination or no partnership with the NFL is going to stop the prophecy of Esau having a perpetual hatred for us.
That's
the hatred never going to go nowhere.
Right.
So it's never going to be a day where we going to come together and solve the problems amongst our people, because the Bible already told us way back in Ezekiel it was a perpetual hatred between Jacob and Esau.
That's
what
right.
I wanted on that.
That's right.
LSJ.
So now we're gonna touch on a few other things. It's staying in the same vein, right? But we're gonna touch on a few other things. Real quick, I posted a video in there in the channel. It's right below where we did where the article for Ice Cube came up. Let's watch this video real quick. Let's watch this video. Now, this is from an old movie. For those of you that know. Those of you who don't. But it's an old movie. I'm not trying to say too much, but if we could put the whatchamacallit up and put undetermined. I'm not sure where the clip came from. All right? Let's let that play.
So what you do? What you in for? Murder, punk. And I wouldn't mind doing the shit again. Me either. I killed a lot of people. You wanna know what kind? Come over here, I'm gonna show you something. What's wrong? Are you afraid of me?
That's that crafty serpent.
The final fight between black and white has begun. I've led my troops on a wave of assaults to wake up my white brother. All of the niggas of the earth will be killed, except for the few that help with the fight against them then. Those few will be spared and live their lives as slaves.
You hear what he said?
Do you want to be spared? Come join my...
Rewind it back just a little bit, y'all. Rewind it back just a little, about 10 seconds. Yeah, it's kind of loud in here. We can't really hear it in here because of the bass dropping, but I'm sure they can hear it. Hey, if y'all can't hear it on the chat, y'all type in the chat and tell us if it's clear to y'all. Is it clear out there? Is it clear out, y'all? Thank you, Sabraya Israel. Thank you, Sabraya Israel. Bantu in...
Yeah, go ahead, play it. Go ahead, play it.
Officer Shamal, you ever had sideburns like that?
Negative. Hey, look, you see how they
say, hey, he reached out there for that with it.
That's how they do me.
Yeah. All right,
let it ain't even here, and I'm still getting it. All right.
Let it play, man.
Few that help with the fight against them then. Those few will be spared and live their lives as slaves. Do you want to be spared? Come join my army. Hey, nigga, those guys you killed, what color were they? Huh? They were niggas. I know it. You're cool with me, nigga.
Damn.
Wow. More of our murdering black brothers need to see that right
Wow.
there.
Man.
Right.
Hey, and he said, those that do what we want them to do, we spare them, and they'll be our slaves.
Right.
So what he showed on there is his tattoos, and his tattoos was of various Edomite nations, their symbols. And he said, I'm joining all of my brothers together, letting us know that they all the same people.
Right.
But he's saying, y'all are doing my bidding, by our bidding, by killing each other. Think about them brothers, them people that you killed, what color were they?
Right.
Do you want to be spared? Keep killing your people.
Right.
Keep killing your people. Let's go away from this real quick. Let's go to the article right behind this because I want to show y'all somebody modern. Now, this ain't an old movie, but let's see somebody, another bootlicker.
Damn. Real quick, before you read the article, officer, real quick, if I may. To the point that he said about when he said, what color were they? The people that you killed, what color were they?
Mm-hmm.
You said that our brothers that killing each other got to see it. Nah, the whole black community got to see that because we be the first ones to stand up and cry, Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace, this and that, right? When the police officers kill us. And obviously we don't like that. But why don't we have that same outrage when we killing one another over some petty stuff?
Right.
Over a block that the white man owned that we fighting for.
They actually say, free this dude. Free that dude.
Right. Free this dude.
He done killed, murdered 3 people in your neighborhood. Drug dealing all throughout the city. Free him, though.
And you want him back on the streets to do it some more.
Yep.
That's crazy, man.
All right. So first thing I want to show is what is the date on this? Go up so we can see the other way, y'all. I say up. I don't know up, down. Show us the date.
So this is Friday, November 5th, 2021.
So this is just about a year ago.
Right.
It's just about a year ago. Let's see. Now, who is this that we talking about? Let's see the picture, please.
Scroll down.
Other direction,
to the
please.
Sasquatch lover.
This is a quote from this guy. This is a quote from this guy. Let's see what his quote says. Let's read that.
Scroll up, scroll up. If they paid me enough, I'd work for the Klan.
Read it with some strength behind it.
If they paid me enough, I'd work for the Klan.
Charles Barkley said just a year ago, if they paid me enough, I'd work for the Klan.
Well, they paid him.
Right.
Because he working for the Klan.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Charles Barkley once said that he'll work for a Ku Klux Klan if they paid the former Phoenix Suns MVP enough. Wow.
He said that he would work for the enemy as long as they gave him enough money to do it.
Right.
So he,
if you don't get.
So he criticized a brother for so-called speaking against so-called or Jewish people, but he'll work for people that have killed, lynched, murdered his own people if they paid him a cool $3.8 million. Probably
They paid him a cool $3.8 million.
And remember, he's from Alabama. You know,
Dang.
Wow.
So he just seen the worst of the worst.
Wow.
You know who else from Alabama, don't you?
Who?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And he swear that it was not a plantation, even though it was the land that his family was owned on.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, right.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, let me get a script real quick on this right here. Let me get Sirach 10 and verse 9.
Man.
Because your main man, Charles Barkley.
Shoulders
The
covered.
book of Sirach.
That's why in the NBA he was always fighting who? He was always trying to fight and
fighting his own
fight
people.
his own people.
His own people.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
You see that the Bible said there's not more wicked thing than a covetous man. Read on.
For such an one setteth his own soul to sale.
You see that he said he gonna sell his own soul to the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
All they gotta do is pay him. They pay him enough money, he gonna join the Ku Klux Klan and burn crosses in your front yard.
Right. Hey, read verse 8 real quick, because again, remember, Ice Cube is saying that the reason that we in the condition we in is because of the wealth gap, right? Read verse 8.
Verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
So we did not lose our kingdom based on money. We didn't lose it, and we not going to regain it based on money. That's not how we going to get the power of this earth back. It's going to come through us keeping the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus Christ until we die or until the sky crack and Christ bring us all back together, stick us in our land. We go to war for 1,000 years. We subdue them. And at the end of that 1,000 years, it's going to be a glorious sight.
That's right.
He going to wipe the enemy off the face of the damn earth.
That's
So that the earth can be at peace and we rule it.
Can I get a verse real quick?
Yes, sir.
Isaiah 123. Just staying in line with the topic about how our brothers is willing to sell their soul for money, like he was talking about, officer, and things like that. Also, it goes back to something we touched on earlier about the gift destroying the heart. This is going to touch in with it. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 23.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 23. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves.
Watch this.
Everyone loveth gifts.
Every one of them loveth gifts and does what?
And followeth after rewards.
That's all our people care about. If you can line my pockets, give me something of monetary value, a gift or a reward, that's all they care about.
Right.
And they willing to sacrifice their moral compass for the purpose of getting a couple dollars. Read on.
They judge not the fatherless.
Meaning that what? They not standing up for the disenfranchised in our people. That's why I said they judge not the fathers. They don't have a sincere care for our people. beanhead Charles Barkley talking about he'll work for the most notorious organization known for the destruction of blacks.
Right.
This is not a covert secret Illuminati. Everybody know the Ku Klux Klan is against blacks.
This is anti-Semitic. Why he?
Right. It's anti-Semitic.
Right.
He talking about I will work for the most notorious organization known to destroy my people if they pay me enough. Finish that verse out.
Neither does the cause of the widow come unto them.
The cause of the widow. Now, how many widows did the Ku Klux Klan make?
Plenty.
Think about that.
Right.
They said the cause of the widow doesn't come onto them because he won a cool $3.8 million.
Right.
Say a gift destroyed the heart, but their mind was ruined to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was well before the money they sold out. You know?
Yeah.
Now let's go out of this because I want to reach back a little bit, right? So we still dealing with To Catch a Predator, right? So let's look at the depth of this predatory system. Let's look at the depth of it. Bring up that next piece. We brought this out a couple of weeks ago, but I want to touch on it thoroughly. Let's read that real quick.
So this is a quote from Reverend Frederick T. Gates, business advisor to John D. Rockefeller Sr.
So he's the business advisor to who?
John D. Rockefeller Sr.
So he's the business advisor to an Amalekite, right? Go ahead.
It's the year 1913. In our dream, we have limitless resources.
Hold on. Okay. Going back to it. There we go.
In our dream, we have limitless resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to
They do what?
Yield themselves with perfect docility.
With perfect docility. Why? Because we lost. What does it say in Genesis chapter 49? Genesis 49.
Who should rouse them up?
Yeah, but as an old lion, who shall rouse them up?
Right.
That's perfect docility. Right now, we are an old lion that has not been, but we are rousing up now. We raising up.
That's right.
But we are an old, we became an old lion. We got worn down, beat up, and we just wanted to relax for a little while. We didn't want to pounce on nothing for a while, but now is the time that we waking back up and we ain't playing with it no more.
And it's crazy because the Israelites, us, we the only ones that will not be bought off with limitless resources.
Right.
So it's crazy that he made that like the first line. He's like, yo, we got limitless resources. We can pacify whoever we want. You know, at the end of the day, if they don't shut up, let's give them some of this money to shut them up.
Yeah. Watch what he tells us when we get to the end of it.
Says, the present educational conventions fade from our minds.
So the present educational conventions fade from our minds. Why? Because they set up an organization, him and Rockefeller together. If y'all can, in the background, don't pull it up yet. Find the name of that organization that they created for me. Find the name of that organization because we're gonna pull that out. All right. So it says they did what? The present
educational conventions fade from our minds. And unhampered by tradition, we work our own goodwill upon a we work our own goodwill upon a grateful and responsive rural folk.
So we work our own goodwill upon a grateful and responsive rural folk. Y'all remember when Toby was getting whipped? When Kunta Kinte was getting whipped, and he said, when your master gives you a name, it's a good name, and you take it.
Right.
That was their goodwill towards us. Take this name of your master and accept it. You are a slave.
Take that you a rapper, a basketball player, a football player.
Right.
And they give them names.
And give them names.
Yes. Right. That's this. Go ahead.
What the hell is this?
We shall not.
We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers.
Or
men of learning.
Or
of science.
We are going to start an organization dealing with education, but not educate them in the way that they need to be educated.
Wow.
This is the mind of Amalek.
The hell is this?
I was talking to an old head the other day. We had a training. I said old head. He was well over like 60, I assume.
Okay.
Careful.
Okay. So I was speaking to him at a training. You know, in the district they allow kids to choose which school they want to go to based off of the programs they want to dive into. They're trying to bring skills back into, so they say. The old head told me, he was like, "Hey man, education ain't changed in over 100 years." He said it's one of the only things out of all the different areas in society that's literally just the same. He said they will not change it. And he was talking to me, it was almost as he was telling me like it ain't no light at the end of this tunnel, you know, like it's just dark. It's just more darkness. You know, he sounded hopeless when he was speaking to me. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, you know, we in captivity. That's I wanted to say like, bro, we in captivity. But
that was like a scene from Get Out.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we read that part where it say we shall not try? Could I bring something out right there?
It says
come on, we shall not try. I got it.
We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or of science.
Or of science. Watch this. Go to Psalms 83, read 3 and 4, and then we're going to go to Baruch 3:36.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel.
What we just read, that's crafty counsel. Come on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So how did they do that? They put in the school system, they don't teach us to be entrepreneurs. They teach us to be good nigga slaves. Even in these HBCUs. They don't teach us to own our business, to be scientists and philosophers. You know what I mean? They don't teach us these things. Read on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
From being a who?
A nation.
Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Then give me Baruch 3 and verse 36. Let's see what comes behind the name of Israel. Because Israel means a prince that has power with God. Or princess that has power with God. Come on, read that.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge.
He hath found out all the ways of who?
Knowledge. And hath given it unto Jacob, his servant.
And have given it unto Jacob, his servant. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So in us knowing that we're the Israelites, what comes behind that? Knowledge. Knowledge.
That's right.
Knowledge of God's laws first and foremost, but also knowledge in learning.
Right.
Philosophers, science.
Right.
These type of things comes behind the name of Israel because we see our brothers, our forefathers in the scriptures and how smart they were.
Solomon.
Right. You understand?
Right.
Solomon, the wisest king. You understand?
Right.
So they don't want us to come back to that. So that's why they got to change our name to what? African Americans, Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. No, we the Israelites in the Bible.
Right. Hey, let's finish the article.
It says, we shall not try to make these people.
No. Second paragraph.
We are not to raise up among them authors.
They're not going to raise up authors. Even though they're dealing with education, they don't want authors out of us.
Orators.
They don't want orators out of us.
Poets.
They don't want us to be poets.
Or men of letters.
Or men of letters, men of understanding, scribes, writers. They don't want that out of us. Go ahead.
We shall not search for embryo great artists.
So they're saying from the womb, as an embryo, we are not looking for these people to be great artists.
Painters.
Why? Because that goes into our imagery.
Right.
We're not going to fix their mind to remember who their image and what their image is.
Right.
We can't do that. Go ahead.
Musicians.
Go ahead.
Nor will we cherish even the humbler ambition to raise up from among them lawyers.
And we don't care how humble they are. Those humble ones, but we see that they smart, that they wise, that they have some skills. We're not going to make them lawyers, no matter how humble they are. Go ahead.
Doctors.
We're not going to make them doctors.
Preachers.
We're not going to make them preachers, except they're going to preach what we want them to. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Go ahead.
Statesmen. Of whom we now have ample supply.
We already got Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson.
Right.
We don't need more of them.
Right.
We got enough to preach and deal with what we want to do. We've already got them fixed. And when we see another one that comes up that has attributes that we want, we'll suck him in, we'll groom him, and then we'll set him up the same way. He might even become president of the United States.
Damn.
Leave that where it's at.
Damn. Yeah. Hey, can I jump in real quick?
Yes,
on
sir.
Your point? To tie in this article to the point we've been talking about the predatory nature of the heathen, right? It goes so deep the article was saying that they set up their education system to not teach us to be these things like scientists, philosophers, so on and so forth. But remember, you pulled the scripture, I think it was maybe Officer Shema, Deuteronomy 28 and 48, about until they be destroyed.
Right.
So much so now that our people don't even think they can possibly do these things.
Right.
This is talking about they want to do it, but we not going to let them do it. Now
Well, they
it's
can do it. They're capable of doing it.
All right. Now we got to the point where we don't even think that it's possible. It's capable for. What do black kids say? Oh, I just hate math. I just suck at math. Why? Because it took you a long time to do the homework. You could have figured the problem out, but you already got that conditioning in your brain. Oh, I hate science class. I hate math. I can't do this. I can't do that. So that's that destruction of our people's mind.
Hey, pull up now what was coming behind this. And those excellent points, because that's exactly where they are and how they move with us. Now let's pull up where we were. Yeah, let's pull it up real quick. It's a couple of things I want to touch in this. This is about John D. Rockefeller, right? This is the Encyclopedia of Cleveland History.
Shout out to my ribs, you from Cleveland.
Damn. All right, so let's read that top line. This is John D. Rockefeller. Go ahead.
This is Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller. This is July 8th, 1839 to 1937.
So this is when he lived. Go ahead.
Industrialist and philanthropist.
And he was a philanthropist.
Rose from his position as an assistant bookkeeper for a Cleveland commission merchant to become one of the wealthiest men in the U.S. Through his efforts in developing the Standard Oil Company.
So he helped bring forth the Standard Oil Company, right? He helped. That's how he established and ended up making his riches. Let's jump down to the beginning. No, let's go down. So in the second portion, you see where it says Forest Hill. It says, nevertheless. Yep, in the second paragraph. It's right there where it says Forest Hill, just above it. Yep.
Nevertheless, he maintained 2 homes in Cleveland and continued to summer at Forest Hill until a tax dispute with local officials in 1913.
So he got rich enough to where he owned 2 homes there, right? In Cleveland, and he continued to summer at Forest Hill. So Forest Hill is an astute, or what do they call it? An affluent community, right? That's where he would summer at until a tax dispute with local officials in 1913. Does anybody remember what was happening in 1913? The Federal Reserve was being set up.
Right.
The Federal Reserve was being set up. They were beginning to establish it. It didn't come into play until about, 20-something years later?
Right.
But all of this, it was a build-up. But let's watch. Keep reading.
His summer stays were usually short enough for him to avoid becoming liable for taxes. But his wife's illness had forced the Rockefellers to extend their stay in 1912. When the Rockefellers remained at Forest Hill past the February 1st, 1913 tax deadline, county officials assessed Rockefeller with a tax bill of $1.5 million, which Rockefeller refused to pay.
He refused to pay it. And then he never returned to Forest Hill no more. So I ain't giving y'all money, right? All right, jump down to the next paragraph, and let's see, what did Rockefeller do with his money?
Rockefeller's charity, as well as business, began in Cleveland. In 1856, he donated $19.31 to local charities.
So that's in 1856. He donated $19.31, right, to local charities. $19.31. Keep reading.
His donations grew to $250,000 in 1887.
In less than 30 years, he went from less than $20 to $250,000 in charities. This is Amalek moves, right? Keep reading.
And $1.35 million in 1892.
5 years later, he's donating $1.35 million, and it ain't even 1900 yet.
Wow.
This guy had money.
Right.
Keep reading.
Many institutions to which he belonged received donations.
So many institutions that he belonged to received donations. Let's see who some of them were. Go ahead.
Including Erie St. Baptist Church.
The what?
Erie St. Baptist Church.
So Amalek belonged to a Baptist church?
What the hell is this?
What you'll find if you dig in is that most of these large churches have to go to a particular bank in order to get their loans to start their banks.
Right.
Though that bank is owned by Amalek.
Right.
Amalek is funding Christianity to keep the minds of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans caught up in BS and never search their history.
It's that fifth pillar.
This is that fifth pillar.
Right.
Wow. So he donated first to, and that's called Euclid Avenue Baptist Church. Go ahead.
Later, Euclid Avenue Baptist Church, the Western Reserve Historical Society.
He gave to historical societies.
Early Settlers Association.
Early settlers. Who do you think those early settlers were?
His Pilgrim homeboys.
Damn sure
His
wasn't
who?
Northern Kingdom. It wasn't Northern Kingdom.
Yes. The Amalekites that were coming in, and guess where they were coming in from? I don't have time today to pull his history, maybe on another show, but these, his homeboys that was coming in from Scotland and Ireland.
Right.
And they were coming in with Eurocentric last names. They weren't coming in as Weinsteins and Schaustensteins and stuff.
Right.
They came in with names like we see with, what's the actor, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson,
right.
They were coming in with names like these. They were not coming in with Amalekite names. And you'll find there is a book that's talking about South Carolina rice fields. This book on South Carolina rice fields details how they were coming in, they were getting that land, and they were setting up rice plantations and buying slaves to work their rice plantations in South Carolina.
The hell is this?
So some of your largest plantation owners in the South, I got a couple of books. Some of your largest plantation owners in the South were actually Amalekites living under Eurocentric names.
Right. Wow. And to your point about the Eurocentric names, our people would never put two and two
Would
together.
never know.
Because his name is James Smith. They don't usually associate that with a Jewish name, but it's showing you with the history right here. These is the Amalekites that was putting us in slavery.
Right.
And like you said, that's funding the foolish religion called Christianity.
Funding it. Let's read down to the rest of these names. Got an incoming call. All right. Hey, shalom, caller. What's your name? Question or comment?
Hey, shalom, officer. Shalom, leadership. My son Christ bless you all. Soldier Adriel from Chicago.
Hey, shalom, soldier. Shalom. What you got for us?
So, Officer Jacob is a relative of mine.
That's right.
All
He
praises.
happened to marry my cousin. And I wanted to touch on the history that you guys were going in on about the Rockefellers in Cleveland. So, Forest Hill is like a small suburb within the suburb of Cleveland Heights, which is heavily like populated. It's like a main hub for Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they moved all of Jake to the east side of Cleveland. They let Jake run the east side of Cleveland down, and they're slowly taking over, gentrifying those areas where Jake was, building up hospitals, colleges, and they're pushing Jake out. So it's like a cycle. So, but all of that is by Amalek.
Yep.
Right.
And they're having they got their different remembrances and stuff, but it's all based off the Rockefeller.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, man. Hey, Soldier, we appreciate you calling in and sharing that information for us, man, from the inside out. It's a good thing you know that history, man. You might ought to dig into it a little bit more and pass it up to your leadership. This is stuff that we can teach on, man.
Right.
This is stuff we can teach on.
You know, he was born and raised in Cleveland. I think he used to go to Euclid Baptist Church.
Damn. He was raised up under that Rockefeller money.
He wasn't.
All praises. Hey, Soldier, we appreciate you calling in, man.
All praises.
Wow.
All right. Most High Christ bless.
Most High Christ
All right.
bless.
Hey, let's read the rest of this list because we got like 15 minutes left, and there's some stuff we need to touch.
And YMCA.
So the YMCA Rockefeller donated to its foundations, its beginnings. The YMCA is where them young men were going in. You remember that song? That's from my. What was it, dude? What was their name? That group.
Name of the group.
Yeah, I can't think of their name, man. Yeah. But yeah. So that YMCA, but that was a place where young men would go. And when you read the stories about it now, it was actually an LGBTQ house long before LGBTQ became a thing.
Wow.
They were saying how, in that song, they were singing about how you could go in there and have all the fun you wanted to have. It was about young men and old men coming together and doing things. They did it under the guise that they were giving housing to people, to young men that needed to learn structure and how to live. But it was a lot of sodomite spirits going on, and that's what it was established on in the YMCA. All right, let's keep reading.
Rockefeller also supported the RAGD School, later Industrial School, and Children's Aid Society.
Children's Aid Society, go ahead.
Bethel Union.
Bethel Union.
The Women's Christian Temperance Union.
Why is all of these Christian things popping up from an Amalekite? Because the job was to prey on us through another doctrine or another form, which is what we were told, wood and stone. This is them preying on us through that manner. Go ahead.
Alta House. The Visiting Nurse Association of Cleveland. The Dorcas Invalids Home and Children's Fresh Air Camp.
So the Dorcas Invalids Home and the Children's Fresh Air Camp. Keep reading.
He donated more than $865,000 worth of land to the city for use as parks. Rockefeller established several organizations to handle his giving. The Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research.
Wait a minute. He established something for medical research. Why would Amalek want to do medical research?
For medical apartheid.
Wow.
The hell is that Stiggy Airman deal going on?
Yes.
Right.
This is how deep this is going. But until we peel the layers back, we'll never know that this is how much they've preyed on us at every facet of life. Keep reading.
The General Education Board.
Now, the General Education Board started in 1902. Pull that up real quick.
Hey, Abdon said that was the village boys.
The village people. That's it. The village people. The sodomite singers.
Damn.
Yeah. The sodomite singers. Let's bring that up. All right. Real quick.
The General Education Board was a private organization which was used primarily to support higher education and medical schools in the United States.
So what was it set up for?
Higher education.
For higher education. So when you get to the top and you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a statesman, or any of that, you've got to go through the education system of Amalek in order to achieve it. This was set up in 1902 by Amalek.
Right.
This is how heavy they've preyed on us as a people, and we don't even realize it.
Right.
Go ahead.
And they already admitted in the thing we read before, let's not let the people lose the thought that they not trying to teach us how to try to be true scientists, true philosophers. So they really just putting us in there to indoctrinate us.
Right.
So you're not going to put your money behind something that you don't agree with, or that you don't have no influence in.
Right.
So they putting their money in this because they either influencing it or they agree with what they're doing with it.
Right.
So it's was a private organization which was used primarily to support higher education and medical schools in the United States, and to help rural white and black schools in the South, as well as modernize farming practices in the South. It helped eradicate hookworm and created the county agent system in American agriculture, linking research at state agricultural experiment stations with actual practices in the field. The board was created in 1902 after John D. Rockefeller donated an initial $1 million to its cause. The Rockefeller family would eventually give over $180 million to fund the General Education Board. Prominent members, Frederick Taylor Gates. Envision.
And he was a reverend. Remember, he was a Baptist reverend. Go ahead.
The hell is this?
The County School of Tomorrow, wherein young and old will be taught in practical ways how to make rural life beautiful, intelligent, fruitful, recreative, healthful, and joyous.
All right.
Wow.
So let's go out of this. I just posted a link in there. Let's go to the link that I just dropped. So let's see what the discussion was, what the end goal was, and what their true thought was about what they were doing with this national education system.
Really quick, to my point that I was saying earlier about the old head that says schooling hasn't changed. If you look at this picture, I don't know if they have the date on here for this picture, but how they're dressed, it looks like it's pre-1950s.
Right.
I'm just going to say that. Our schooling, when you look at it today, They try to throw a little bit of jazz in there, but it's the same thing. You know, they operating off the same general board of education, or the Rockefeller system, basically. I says a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. Scroll down.
That's why we all in those factories, huh?
Yep.
Right.
Assembly line.
Yeah, they got me. They got me, dog. They got me, bro.
Yeah. Chain gang.
Have you ever had the conversation that schools don't teach you how to think? Have you ever been frustrated that you spend so many years in school and yet you come out with only the ability to regurgitate information?
That sounds like the Christian church.
Right. Bring it out.
What if I told you that independent thought wasn't the purpose of education in the first place? The decades before and after the 1900s was the period of the Industrial Revolution. This is where many of the legendary billionaires made their fortune via the railroads, the automobile, oil, etc. The idea of the assembly line was crystallizing into reality with the birth of mass production.
Wow, they got me, dog. They got me. They set me up, bro. It's a setup, bro.
But you gonna have a pension. You gonna have a pension and a retirement out of that.
A nice car. Yeah, you get a car out of it. In 1902, the General Education Board was a non-governmental organization designed to support higher education and was funded primarily by John D. Rockefeller. Throughout his lifetime, he donated approximately $180 million. The board's objectives were to promote farming, to establish public high schools in the South, and to develop programs for African Americans.
So pause it. So that tells you who those rural people were. They were African Americans, right? Let's jump down to the paragraph that says, in many cases.
In many cases, independent thinking and higher ambitions were completely squashed.
They were what?
Completely squashed.
Completely squashed. Because Amalek is the one who controlled how we were educated.
So they do not want Kyrie to spoil
At
us.
all.
They put too much work and too much money and too much time.
Hey, today they say y'all doing too much critical thinking up in here.
Right.
Just teach what we told y'all to teach and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Hey, whenever you regurgitate something, it's because you didn't read it.
Right.
And what
Right.
they did to us in slavery, you wasn't allowed to read.
Right.
Now
Right.
that you're allowed to read, we don't read. So all we do now is regurgitate what it is that the white man told us.
Right.
That's right.
There is a famous story about the young Malcolm Little, who would later become Malcolm X.
Famous story about Malcolm X. Let's see.
He heard his teacher tell the white students in his class that they can be whatever they wanted to be. He was at the top of his class and was looking for encouragement on pursuing law as a career. He tells his teacher that he wants to be a lawyer and was told that his dream is unrealistic and that he should work with his hands, maybe be a carpenter.
Because if you remember, go back to the top of the article and read what it said. All the way at the top.
A nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers.
They did not ever want us to use our minds.
Right.
Because the instant that we bethought ourselves, it would be another revolt. And they would be afraid of losing their power because they can't really control us. Understand that everything moves in God's time. But this is how they prey on us. So when the Bible says they search deep, they search, they do a diligent search. Is that Psalms 58? Yeah, give me that. Give me that. They do a diligent search. So what you're seeing for everybody that's watching, this is how deep they dig into who we are, and this is how you know that they know who we are, because it's the exact same thing that they did during the time of Daniel. Remember, when they brought them in, and they wanted children that had the capacity to be able to speak other languages, new sciences, knew all of these things, so that they could reprogram them but still use their skills. They wanted to, what was it they said? Kill the man?
Kill the Indian, save the man.
There you go.
Right.
They wanted to kill the Indian and save the man.
Damn near do a get out.
Right.
Get out on you.
You know what else this proves too? This proves that when we in IUIC say that they spend hundreds of millions of dollars to keep us asleep, we not just talking.
We not just talking.
We pulling out the information, $180 million.
Right. And this is out of their media.
Right.
They're telling this.
1 million in 1902.
Right.
And they gave a Negro $3 million in 2021.
Right.
2015.
Right.
Psalm 64 and 6.
Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep.
There it is. They think very deep. This started in the 1800s. Right. By 1902, they had established this, but the whole time, think about it, they were working multiple streams of thought, right? They had that going on. They starting to donate to the churches, the Christian church, right? Because that's big. Besides that stream, now they're opening an education system so that they can guide and direct the minds that they see. When you go, matter of fact, scroll up in that article where you see the purple highlighted. So they were doing that. But then this is 1902.
Right.
This is 15 years before the Balfour Declaration was even written.
Right.
Hey, can I touch on something real quick? Let me get Matthew 15 and verse 54. Because what we read earlier about
we got 3 minutes. We got 3
Yes,
minutes. Let's rush.
That we can work, we couldn't be thinkers, work with your hands, be carpenters. 13, 54, and 55. Read this.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 54. And when he was come into his own country,
talking about Christ,
he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence hath this man this wisdom?
This man is a thinker. Read.
And these mighty works. Is not this the carpenter's son?
Is not this the carpenter's son? This man, he don't come from a thinker. So how can he himself be a thinker?
That's right.
Right.
That was he worked with his hands.
And let me get one real quick before we go.
Go ahead,
Give
go
me
ahead.
1 Maccabees 3 and 43. 1 Maccabees 3 and 43. Because this is what we set up here to do. That's why Bishop and them came out on the streets to recruit men like us, so we can restore the decayed state of our people.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 43. They said one to another, let us restore the decayed estate of our people.
And that's what we're trying to do these days, trying to restore our people. Read.
And let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
And that's what we're doing now. We're fighting for the minds of our people.
That's right. That's right. So before we close out, read that real quick because this shows exactly where we are and how they prey on us. Go ahead.
Those who were thinkers in school were mercilessly harassed emotionally and or physically by bullies.
By what?
Bullies.
Exactly what we've seen over the last 10 to 15
predators.
years. Predators. Keep reading.
They were called
ADL.
They were called geeks or nerds. If they weren't harassed, they were socially excluded.
So when we look at the trap music movement and all of them smart kids, like the football player that just killed 3 other football players at a party, was because that trap music told him that if you ain't killed nobody, you really ain't hard.
Wow. And then they had shows where they back it up with the Fresh Prince, where Carlton, they clown him. They like, oh, this is smart when he going to class, whatever the case is. They played on, so like you're saying, they played on so many different avenues and making big Edomite devil deals, talking about they finna take over the whole damn world with a national bank and all that.
Right.
Wow.
Hey, so look, y'all tuned in again this week. We appreciate you because you could have been doing anything else. But all praises to the Most High. Subscribe and follow IUIC Dallas at Instagram at Dallas IUIC, Facebook IUIC Dallas, TikTok at IUIC Dallas, YouTube at IUIC Dallas. Also, you can donate to IUIC.Dallas at IsraelUnite.org. Help us continue to bring in books. This ain't one of them. This is personal, but help us continue to bring in books so that we can bring this history out and continue to come out of the scripts to teach our people. All right. With that, we say shalom.
You are listening to In the Scripts.
Reloaded.
I never sweat, no perspiration. We do the work and they steady hating. Call me Hanukkah, I'm dedicated. Push the truth and it's circulating. I know you're mad and you're aggravated. I know you're mad and you're frustrated. We gon' do the work and stay patient. Why these other brothers stay hating? Hold up. And I do it all with no sweat. I ain't worried about what they talking about. I ain't scared.